This is Lonnee Ray reading you the introduction from Rattled Awake, Volume 2. No matter what's happened over the past 5 years, allow optimism to enter. Each rattled awake moment can bring you a gift. Enjoy the treasures each author shares so freely here and let them inspire you to rewrite your next chapter. So I wanted to read you my chapter. Again, this is volume 2. This chapter is called This Bugs Me. There's a lot of links and images, and I put them all up on volume 2 tab on officialrattledawake.com so that you can follow along or check these out after you listen to this audio. This Bugs Me by Lonnee Ray. Some things are obvious, others not so much. It's the covert stuff that we need to take notice of these days. But how? How do we suss out the insidious integration of suspiciously unsafe components in our foods? Fortunately, this chapter will show you how to turn up the sensitivity on your BS detector so you won't be unwittingly duped much longer. And side note, a complete list of video links is available for download. It's a document on officialrattledawake.com, Volume 2 tab. And here we go. Nicole Kidman, in a photo shoot for Vanity Fair, is eating 4 types of live bugs served on silver platters. How is this a thing? Bugs are for bait, not the plate. And yet, here it is, served up for us as the quote-unquote the new normal. And there's a link for Nicole Kidman Eats Bugs, Secret Talent Theater Vanity Fair. And while it's true that change is the only constant, we need to put our foot down on bugs. Crikey. And there's an image from the label of a company's their cookies called Chocolate Chirp Cookies. And at the top it says, and this is Hoppy Planet Foods. Isn't that a lovely name, Hoppy Planet? Why put a cheddar in cookies? Okay, let's find out what that is. The house cricket, Acheta domesticus, is commonly encountered in Florida in only 2 contexts, and apparently only in Florida: bait for fish and food for pets. I looked on the Hoppy Planet Foods website, but couldn't tell if they're in Florida or not. Wait. House crickets that are sold in bait and pet stores are reared in large commercial cricket factories or by local entrepreneurs. Gee, you'd hate to live next door to one of those factories, huh? A cricket factory. Oh. In other news, Finland is proud of their bread, boasting 70 whole ground crickets. And there's a link. Bread made from crushed crickets launches in Finland. My advice is to start checking labels again. You might never eat crickets on purpose, but the truth is, here in the US, you may have already. Cricket flour is popping up where you least expect it. And that's the point of this chapter, giving you a surefire way to sense if that apple or chip is going to be good for you. I'm not being dramatic, just emphatic. There is a dire need to get up to speed pretty quickly, my friend. Far too much tomfoolery going on. Quote, Actually Foods cheddar cheese puffs, unquote, lists organic cricket flour as an ingredient. Wait, hold up. Hold up a minute. Does the word organic imply these are free-range, grass-fed, pesticide-free crickets? Oh, what a relief. Whole ground, however, means their eyes and poop chute are ground up into light and airy cheddar snacks. Mm-mm. Does it mean these organic crickets are magically free from the 4-inch long parasites I've seen tweezered out of live crickets? It does? Oh, cool. Well, pass me some of that mealworm dip too, man. The EU is preventing mealworm larvae in their foods because that's a good idea for humans to eat, right? Yeah. Oddly enough, the EU has refused to import much of the foods produced here in the US. What bugs them? Its side-by-side ingredient comparisons for Doritos prove the US is obsessed with adding chemicals that other countries do not accept or use in the exact same product. Come on. Is larva fine? Oh, man. This bugs me even though I don't eat it. And Chick-fil-A's chicken sandwich has 50 ingredients. 32 of them are lab made. Take that in. They used to post the ingredients list online, but recently they pulled it. Oh, don't worry, Chick-fil-A. Smart consumers know you're not the only big box store serving up chemicals with your Frankenstein chicken. We also know that KFC was 3D printing chicken nuggets before anyone else. All y'all are doing weird things to the stuff you call food. No wonder you don't allow your own kids to eat at your restaurants. That's a fact. What is 3D printed chicken made of? It's made out of lab-grown stem cells, and I've since learned cancer cells grow the fastest, by the way. It's made out of lab-grown and extracted, honestly, animal extracted stem cells, uh, cancer cells. 3D printed meat is an edible rendering of a meat-like product. Yeah, a meat-like product. That's exciting. Created from an additive manufacturing process. Layer by layer, 3D printed meat is constructed or scaffolded from a bioink that extrudes out of a 3D printer nozzle. What is bioink anyway? Does it taste better with ranch or barbecue dipping sauce? You might as well just print a photo of a chicken nugget, spray it with some seasoning salt, crumble it up. I mean, reshape the paper into a nugget and eat that for lunch. Are you laughing, thinking, oh, well, that doesn't affect me? Maybe. Affected or not, we're all being subjected to the whims of unelected oddballs like Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab, a James Bond villain knockoff, who are running roughshod over our lives in many ways. The part about our food being messed with is what really bugs me. Gates donated $13 million to The Guardian, a publication, and bought himself a nice bunch of articles promoting his lab grown meat and the World Economic Forum narrative, the WEF. More unelected bioengineered bologna sandwich makers, by the way. Unelected. Yeah. Check out this recent segment of Redacted on YouTube where it's titled "The WEF is hiding bugs in these foods and you don't even know it," with Clayton Morris. And before you say this is just a conspiracy theory, just visit the WEF's website and see all the reports on eliminating meat in favor of bugs. Oh, and one final note, because this is really extra juicy. The title of this video is "Gross, Eating Bugs May Give You Parasites." Yeah, because they were detected in 81.33% uh, of insect farms. Anyway, it's worth looking into. Yes, yes, indeed. Bugs are for bait, not your plate. And then there's magnetic meat. What's that? You didn't see that on the news? Cue shock face. Television. Television. Yeah. If you only get half the truth, what's the other half? If you want to know more of what the real news is today, I have intentionally posted multiple platforms as reference links. I spent years discerning the shills from the sages. Of course, do your own research outside of lamestream media. Stay abreast of changes in our food supply and policies that will impact you or your kids. They are already encouraging kids to eat bugs at some U.S. schools. Yeah, no kidding. Back to magnetic meat. I'll let this video do all the talking. A rattled awake moment here was when the brand name Simple Truth Organics also tested positive for magnetism. Yeah, Organic turkey had, big magnet stuck to the package. I was like, damn, there goes another one. Well, what labels can we trust? So it's definitely worth looking into magnetic meat. And one lady, oh, here's another video you've got to look out. Lady tries to heat some ham in a microwave and it sparks like crazy because of the metals in it. Yeah, she put some diced ham, like open the package. Here, doggy, I'll heat it up for you. In 3 seconds, this thing was sparking like fireworks on 4th of July. Would you give ham like that to your dog? Uh, yeah, no, neither did she. Okay, so now what? Well, here's a baby step. Take a magnet with you to the grocery store. Test the product. If someone asks what you're doing, tell them. Say it forward. Rattle them awake too. 2 baby steps. Say something out loud. My friend thinks nothing of showing those within earshot that his magnet is sticking to all sorts of meat products. It gets attention and it forces the store manager to take action. Somebody has to call it for what it is, man. Magnetic meat is just wrong, and so is fake food. There's more than the title implies here. Check out this video. You might be eating Bill Gates' lab-grown meat tonight on Redacted. For years, I thought, surely, there has to be a way for us to suss out these suspicious and shady practices. Or something like that. The good news is there is good news. A simple way for you to discern good from bad. And that's the whole point of this chapter. Hang with me. I don't mean to gross you out before you finish reading or listening. I promise you there's a great solution to combat what these underhanded creeps who have nothing good in mind but power and profits are trying to slip into your food, just quietly. I'm not trying to freak anybody out here. I'm just being practical. Knowledge is power. When we know better, we can do better. And armed with the assessment technique you're going to learn in this chapter, you will be prepared, not scared. And here we go. Now here's a little scenario, a kitchen scene, unpacking the groceries. Honey, where's the ketchup? Why did you get this other brand? He says, I couldn't find it, dear. I looked and looked for it. Dear slaps her forehead in a V8 moment, then says, oh, honey, didn't you hear? After all these years, the Heinz label is now blue. No wonder you didn't see it. Oh, you know what, dear? I actually saw a blue label ketchup, but I looked right past it. It wasn't familiar, you know? As she nods, yes. Beliefs can make us blind. It is entirely possible Honey may have never seen the Heinz ketchup again, were he not told what to look for. And now that he knows what to look for, he will see it. In fact, it will stand out. Dear, I just can't believe they did that. It makes no sense. I agree, honey, but it is what it is. Honey walks away, mildly disgusted at the changeover, shocked that someone in a boardroom somewhere thought that was a good idea. Red to blue labels. With a shoulder shrug, he mumbles, some things will never make sense. We just got to deal with it, I guess. Honey couldn't see what was there the whole time. The eyes are useless when the mind is blind. I selected certain videos to cite visible proof, to educate the unaware and train the eye. Cognitive dissonance, or being so shocked that one refuses to acknowledge what is, equates to a closed mind. A closed mind lets in no light. And with all due respect to the it's all good, this is supposed to happen and everything is fine types, everything is not fine unless you are happy to surrender your health and freedom of choice to control freaks, to believe the ship will magically right itself if we meditate, visualize the new earth hard enough, or pray that someone will appear or take office and take care of this insanity for us is lovely. But it's also passive, wishful thinking. When you wear rose-colored glasses, you miss the red flags. Ignoring these things does not make them go away. Well, some say if you focus on the negative, you get more negative. The glaring opposite is true. By refusing to see what is already happening, it continues to happen. It is happening right now, under our collective noses, like it or not. It should make you mad, unless you're a robot. No, this is not fine, and it bugs me. The reality is, we are being bulldozed by apathetic creeps who are happy to let you sit and watch them destroy both your health and the planet itself. We are carbon. The planet exists because of carbon. Who named these losers as leaders anyway? Things are not as they seem, friends. If you dig, you will discover their premise of climate change has been debunked. And carbon, yeah, at a very low rate, 0.2 or is it 0.02? It kind of matters. Either way, if we get to zero carbon, plant life dies. Plant life dies at 0.02% carbon. Guys, 0% carbon is not a good thing. And as far as climate change being debunked, depending on when they compare temperatures, the Earth is actually cooling. Follow the money behind these so-called experts, and you will find their studies are being funded by those who gain power and profit from the climate change narrative. As President LBJ said, he who controls the weather controls the world. Are you aware the U.S. Air Force has openly stated their intentions? Yeah, to control all weather worldwide. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy to manipulate, sure, but it's not a theory, it's a fact. It's already happening. Gates thinks we need to dim the sun. Yeah, sure, Bill. There's a couple links here. Please watch these. They're about geoengineering. It's a real thing. And regardless, pushing chemicals and bugs down our throats is vile. Clearly, 3D printed or lab grown air quote meat is not a healthy alternative required to save the planet. The cost of chemicals required to do these things is preposterous. But it's nothing compared to the profits made at your expense. Loss of health and freedom of choice. Yikes. Ignorance is bliss until it isn't. Only through awareness and action can we make change happen with intention. It is up to us to question what we've been spoon-fed. Hopefully it bugs you too. Take action before taking another bite of bologna. This next segment is about a product called Appeal, and it's called Not Appealing. There's now a product coating organic and conventional produce that is made with toxic ingredients, and it can't be washed off. Yep, organics have it now too. Once again, we have a Gates-backed product being slipped into the mainstream. Vote with your feet. Shop at places who refuse to use this chemical derivative. Our bodies are not equipped to handle these known poisons. And there is a petition, as well as Appeal's ghastly ingredients listed over here at www.momsacrossamerica.com/appeal. There's moms that are mad, okay? Question, trust the science. Narrative, please. The voice was to give you, like, quote unquote, question, quote, trust the science, unquote. Question it. This is the actual description and patent for Appeal. Yeah, described herein are methods of sanitizing and preserving produce and other agricultural products, for example, for consumption as ready to eat. The methods can comprise treating the products with a sanitizing agent and forming a protective coating over the products. A method of treating produce comprising a coating agent dissolved in a solvent, the solvent comprising a sanitizing agent, alcohol, ethanol, methanol, acetone, isopropanol, ethyl acetate. Heavy metals, palladium or palladium, arsenic, lead, cadmium, and mercury. Yeah, that's on your green beans, baby. Yeah, so there's a couple links in here. Please go over to Volume 2's chapter tab. It's very interesting. Labels that begin with a 9 are allegedly upholding organic growth standards. I say allegedly because now we have organic produce being coated with appeal and other brand name derivatives, chemicals that do unnatural things like this and make you wonder just how old your produce truly is, doesn't it? And these images show green beans after 10 days and the sprayed versus non-sprayed. It's horrifying. Some consumers are concerned that appeal-coated produce is off-gassing toxic substances. Imagine that. They report bugs dropping dead in the general area where the produce has been stored. I guess you could flick the bugs into your appeal fruit smoothie and give that a whirl, Cheryl. But God, imagine what this is doing to your body. My hope is this chapter rattles you awake, that you share it with your network, family, and friends. I want you to feel empowered with knowledge and inspired to act. Tell your grocer you won't be buying their appeal coated produce. If enough people refuse to buy it, they will have to stop pushing it on us. And in this chapter, again, please download it from volume 2 on the website, official Rattled Awake. You'll find a store locator where appeal is or will soon be available at the following grocers: Trader Joe's, Costco, Gelson's, Ralph's, Sprouts, Vons, Walmart, Whole Foods, Kroger, Harps Foods, Wakefern, Price Right, Fairway Market, Target, Bristol Farms, and more. And another thing to be on the lookout for is the change of labels that used to say GMO. They now say contains a bioengineered ingredient. We expect it, I guess, but what about this? Bioengineered ingredient. Okay, wind turbine blades, which 54,000 tons of waste, 54,000 tons of plastic turbine blades per year are being repurposed into gummy bears, and garbage plastics will soon become vanilla ice cream. Watch The Crow House. It's a channel on BitChute.com. The episode is Looting the World. And use the discernment technique later in this chapter to discern away from beautifully packaged lies. Sadly, this atrocity to our food supply is being dictated to us by people who have absolutely no authority over us, and yet they have installed themselves over us. These people are the real reason I wrote How to Deal with a Dumbass, What to Do and Say When They Come Your Way. It was fueled by my taking an objective look at the global stage, noticing a piss-poor parade of clowns, then figuring out a way to respond to it without staying depressed, frankly. And that book will help you do that too. Think global, act local. It took on a whole new meaning when I wrote that book because the only thing we can manage is our personal mindset and our personal reality. It is up to us who and what we let in the front door, what we buy with our money, what we put in our mouths, and how we take action as new things become known to us. Passivity does nothing but create more of the same, which is nothing, and silence equals compliance. I want you to think, what can I do? What can I do? Plenty. Becoming aware of what is happening and taking action, being proactive versus reactive, makes it easier to implement solutions for yourself. You might be wondering, like I was, how does this level of BS happen? Who is behind all of this? And here you go. Here's a fascinating 15-minute overview, and it's pretty detailed, showing you how these things happen on such a grand scale and who those people are. You've got to check out this link, How the Few Control the Many, What We Do to Break Free. This video, with over 5 million views, went viral in spite of shadow banning, a testament to the power of saying it forward. It is time for us all to activate our innate power for positive change. No one is coming to save us from the clown parade. And besides, savior complexes won't put food on the table. Decisions are being made for us covertly, until you know where to look, by bona fide psychopaths. We've already witnessed how the FDA will recommend products that are not tested long enough for safety. The disastrous results and their built-in indemnity. There is no recourse, in other words. When you know where to look, you will see, quote unquote, trust the science. People are backpedaling now with admissions of guilt that'll blow your mind. You won't hear it on network television, of course. Check out BitChute, like I said, the Crow House, and Jim Crenshaw's channels. These are all in the chapter. Load it, free download on online. Also, Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, homesteaders with a penchant for natural remedies, as well as informed news updates. They are definitely worth your time. There's also what's called reaction videos on YouTube. And this particular host curates TikTok videos, and he reminds us that we're all in this together, so let's be aware of these things together. And of course, it's up to you to do your research. Please do. I'm not saying every video is gospel truth either. However, I know you will find these people entertaining and enlightening. And where do you see the scripted news readers where hundreds of them say the exact same lines at once? It's crazy. In Rattled Awake, Volume 1, my chapter covered a jarring Rattled Awake moment upon learning that nearly 2,000 food processing plants all went poof, all coincidentally by fire, in the last past year or so. Yeah, a year ago, or a year and a half now, the count was 20. But now look, from what I hear, they're not coming back anytime soon. Suspicious? Yeah. Response? Your response? First, delete the need to understand who's behind it. Just stock up now. Just do it wisely. Things have gotten scary sketchy on the food front, guys. Going in heavily armed with knowledge is what you got to do these days. And in that first chapter, Volume 1, I failed to mention the mass extermination of tens of millions. Tens of millions. Tens of millions. That's a big number. The mass extermination of tens of millions of chickens and tens of thousands of cattle. This is a big concern indeed. Still, it does not excuse this fake product being sold at your local Aldi and Walmart. Eggland's best organic eggs are included in this warning plastic eggs at Walmart 30-second video. It's a must see. We really can't trust labels anymore, so what do? How do we make an informed decision? Well, over 30 years ago, I experienced tremendous insights by being muscle tested. Based on kinesiology, it's your body's way of telling you if something's good or bad, true or not true. Until recently, I thought a second person was required to do the muscle testing, and other solo techniques, they were just too weird to do in the grocery store. But thankfully, this is different. And as you'll see in this really cool video, again, it's on the website, all the links. As you'll see in this cool video, the host is able to bust his son for lying. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I bet his son's not laughing, but it shows you how you can utilize this simple technique and help to make, discernment easier. And it's called Learn to Muscle Test, and the world is in your hands. That's a cool title. I recommend practicing with a deck of cards so you can grow your intuitive muscles skills. Is this a red card or black card? You'll see. It really builds your faith in yourself when you have a deck of cards down and you do what I call the finger jiggle. You'll see the video, and then you can test, like, is it a club, yes or no, and see what your body tells you, until you just keep getting these and grow confidence in your ability to assess quickly. You can't go wrong learning to trust in your body's innate and higher wisdom. So it's time for the $1 million question. Are you willing to stand in the produce department and do a quick finger jiggle to see if this is actually a safe product or not? Well, why not? That's the real question. Why not? You might inspire a movement, and at the very least, you'll be making wise choices for yourself and your family. And by the way, here's a little tip. I lower my hand into the grocery cart to do a finger jiggle. It looks normal. It looks like I'm drumming my fingers. It's less obvious and it works just fine. Ultimately, we have to decide. Choose not to trade your freedom for comfort. Please watch a movie, Jones Plantation. It's only $10. I spent 20 for the director's cut. Best $20 I've spent in a long time. The metaphors showing how people are tricked into believing they're free, they're very well illustrated. Your mature children will enjoy it too. You are the solution. So I know the things I've shared with you are really hard to stomach. No pun intended. It's vile and is being implemented without our consent. Thanks to people like you. Thanks to people like you who took the time to check out the videos. Please do. And share the information. God, we can have a movement of awareness, action, and change. So, a real quick to-do list. Number 1, get yourself a magnet, take it to the grocery store, and use that puppy. Number 2, get a deck of cards and test your muscle testing skills until you perfect them. And you can use them when making important decisions moving forward. Number 3, tell your grocer their use of appeal means they don't get your money. It's that simple. It's not appealing. Number 4, read labels twice. Vote Frankenfoods off the island. Don't buy any of it. Guys, try this app, Yucca, Y-U-K-A. It deciphers product labels and analyzes the health impact of food products and cosmetics. Talk about a poor rating. Annie's Organics. 9 out of 10 Annie's Organics products are all poorly rated. Boo. That fact alone should alert you to the need to reevaluate labels and brands. And then finally, grow your own indoors. EdenGrowSystems.com is listed here. Or find some other place. I don't care. I don't make money. I don't make money on this. This chapter is an F-bomb of sorts, I know. Take a different perspective, and you can shift into higher gear, though. We don't have to take this shit lying down. These new actions may seem awkward, like learning to ride a bicycle was initially. Remember, it got easier to do with no hands even, remember? So know that you can, now that you know better, you can do better, and you can take back authority over your life and make decisions in your favor. Because there's people who are doing the opposite. I hope you will F it and shift with the times. And what I mean by that is the word shit is spelled out, but if you add an F to it, it makes it shift. So F it. We simply need to activate our God-given powers of discernment and enjoy the benefits that come only through action. The most capable hand is at the end of your wrist. Think back to a wedding. The music starts and everyone's looking around, hoping somebody will be the first one to get up and start dancing. And once they do, and you've seen this, then others join in. A movement starts with one. Somebody has to open the dance floor. Will it be you? Each one, teach one. When we stand united, we are an empowered force of unlimited and exponential potential. As JFK said, and I quote, in darn near every chapter, one person can make a difference, and everyone should try. Thanks for listening. I'm on a mission to create as many Rattled Awake books as there are people whose message and mission will elevate, inspire, and change our world for the better. Yeah, there you go. Story development coach, book producer, author, message maestro. You can find Rattled Awake volumes 1 through 6 now on Amazon, as well as Life Lessons Learned from a Lousy Mother and How to Deal with a Dumbass. They're all on Amazon. And if you'd like to share your Rattled Awake experience in an upcoming book, jump over to officialrattledawake.com and book a time. Look around, read the testimonials, See, we got quite the thing going here, and jump on this party train. Yeah, I really appreciate you saying it forward, because if we each one teach one and we say it forward, then everybody gets the good news. Thanks. This is Lonnee Ray, and I'm out for now, but I'll be back.